cuddle monsters over there. When I woke up today, I looked over, and on top of your pillow, right beside your head, was a pug who likes to cuddle.
Like sleeping.
This is what it looks like to cuddle with a pug. Oh my goodness! I hope you can see him there. Can you see him? A min pin and a pug cuddling. Anyway, imagine waking up to that.
I think he was sleeping like literally on top of my head.
Oh my goodness. What's your favorite part of fall?
I'm enjoying the smell.
Somebody had pointed that out earlier about the dead leaf smell. And I was like, that sounds a little bit morbid. And then my dead leaf smell is about spring, and it smells horrible.
Yeah, but the fall smells nice.
It's more like a dying,
I do love
dead.
Sweaters.
You like sweaters? You like nice.
Layers
I
of
like sweaters too.
Scarves.
Yeah, you like your capes with your sweater underneath, with your t-shirt, with your tablecloth of a scarf around your head. My favorite part, because I like a little bit of a challenge, my favorite part about fall is seeing how long I can go without turning the furnace on. I think we've made it to December before.
If anybody has any slipper recommendations? I hate slippers.
It's a bit of a challenge, but
I don't like socks either.
People think they're really awesome that they don't turn on their air conditioner, and so I'm almost backwards. I'm like, I like turning my AC on in March break. You got a little steamy. Turn on the AC, get her fired up. Yeah, same as the furnace. Although I think we have an unfair advantage to your average person because we live in a townhouse and we have people on either side of us. So I think that helps. And then we have the sun at the front and the back in the afternoon. So anyway, maybe we could get to January this time. This go right into winter. No furnace.
Just so you know,
Hashtag no furnace.
That's not a thing. We're not playing that game.
I don't think it's a game. I think it's a challenge.
We're not doing it.
Speaking of challenges.
When I get too cold, I'm turning on the furnace.
What if I take out the fuse?
You think I don't know how to figure out how to put a fuse back in?
Yes, I think that you cannot put a fuse back in.
I could figure it out.
You would call our friend Nick and say, my furnace won't start. Help me.
There's YouTube.
There is YouTube. All right. Are we on the 26th or 7th? 27. We did Charity, Clarity yesterday, and we are moving into October the 27th. Step 11. Ooh, this could be good. Hold on to your glasses.
I'm holding.
Here we go. All right. This is step 11 of Al-Anon. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. Praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out means we ask on a daily basis to be shown the plan for that day. We also ask our source for the power we need to carry that through. We will get a yes to both requests. We do not ask other people to show us their will for us. We ask God. Then we trust that we'll be empowered to carry God's will through. God never asks us to do anything that He would not equip us to do. He never asks us to do anything we can't do. If we are to do it, He will empower us. That's the easy part of this program. We never have to do more than we can or anything we can't do. If we want to worry and fuss, we can, but we don't need to. That is our choice. I've learned through difficult and good times that this step will carry me through. When I don't know what to do next, God does. Working this step one day at a time will take us to places we could have never traveled on our own. Simple acts done daily in accordance to God's will for us lead to a grand plan for our life. Prayer for today. Today, I will focus on asking God to show me what He wants me to do. I will ask God for the power to do that. Then I will go ahead and get the job done. God, help me let go of my fears about living life one day at a time. Help me trust that when life is lived simply and in trust, a beautiful mosaic called my life will be woven. I am divinely led, guided, and cared for. Oh, amen. A beautiful mosaic called my life. That's good. I think that's important. I think that's the part of the recovered life is His will be done, not mine, and just seeking conscious contact with God all the time in all we do. Because for me, I remember we did this couples discipleship school for 2 years. Our boys called it friend school because we didn't have any friends, and we went away every couple months for this friends group. Anyway, one of them was the women did one outing and then the men did one outing, and the men went to this obscure northern northern Ontario fishing camp out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
And so we went fishing the one day, and it was trout. And we have a big fish fry. And then the next day we go and do a little montage over a hill and into another bigger lake.
Okay.
And so we did a fishing trip over there that day. We had a fish fry again. And then we parked our boats, and coming back over the hill, we have to walk. And so I have this bug net on because the bugs were ridiculous. You could eat them for dinner. And so I'm walking, but checking my footprints, and I'm with like 5 people. And next thing you know, I wasn't with 5 people, and I don't know where I was. And everybody ended up leaving me. They left me. They actually left me and forgot I was with them. But
You forgot to mention that you're on an island and you had to take a boat to get there.
Yeah. And so to get back, we had to get to the original boats to go back to the camp. And so I was with people, and then I wasn't with people. And then those people that I was with made it to the boats, which wasn't that far, 10 minutes maybe. And then they went back to the camp. And then they're back at the camp, realizing they forgot John Ruby. And by the time a half hour rolled down, I finally made it to the dock, the little dock. Mm-hmm. And man, it reminds me of...
Tie this in.
It reminds me of when I'm not paying attention to God leading me, and I'm just looking at the ground in front of me and going where I think I should go. I can get lost very quickly.
Oh my goodness.
And all of a sudden I'm doing my will, my way, getting my result. And so this step 11 is really being guided by the Spirit of God.
Yep.
And not getting left behind.
Yep. Staring at the ground.
Staring at the ground. And the funniest thing was when I was standing on the dock going, I have no phone, I have no nothing. And I have 1 billion mosquitoes. Mm-hmm. Down out of the bush come a bit... There happened to be 3 other boats there.
Yeah.
There was a bevy of women who I think were a little bit intoxicated, and they came up on the scene, and they had their boats, and I'm like, I was like, please take me home. Anyway, they harassed me. I think step 11 is that seeking God and being led by Him, and not led into the wilderness and waiting for somebody to come back and rescue you.
But I think that there can be I do think that like this daily practice, there's a daily practice of like reviewing your day at the end of the night and saying like, okay, where was I selfish, fearful, resentful, dishonest,
Self-seeking.
and I said that. Okay. And so reviewing those things. And then there's like a morning, wake up in the morning and say, okay, God, today's, this day belongs to you. What would you have for me today? Give me patience and peace. And, I just, I want you to be part of my day. But I think that that doesn't mean that we don't commit to anything. That doesn't mean that we just live willy-nilly and blow in the wind and because I was thinking about like I've made 2 long-term commitments and I made them prayerfully. I thought about them, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to do this group. It lasts 6 months, and I'm going to do this group, and it lasts till May. And I believe that part of my discipline process and part of what God would have me do, because I prayed about whether to commit to those things, that I actually have to fulfill those commitments. And those are long-term commitments. So it's not like I can wake up one day and say, oh, actually, I'm not going to, I think God's telling me not to do that anymore. I think I'm going to go do this. If I heard, if I really felt like I needed and prayerfully to commit to something long-term, I need to recognize that part of my disease, part of my mental obsession is like to get me out of commitments and to take the easier, softer way. And
Getting
so
out of God's will.
exactly. And so I often want to take the easier, softer way. I often lose steam when things get hard and I want the exit. Where's the exit? Like, how do I get out of here? Instead of like finishing well. And especially when something is that long term. And so I think it's important to like actually have some for me, these are kind of light long-term goals, they're just like a 1 week, one session a week Zoom commitment, but there's like daily things that are involved with both of those commitments. And interestingly enough, both of those commitments, I didn't realize it at the beginning. I knew that they would each have value in my life. They're both studies. I knew that they would each have value, but I didn't realize how much they would intersect. And they are intersecting very much, even though they're both very different. And so, so I really feel like a review of my day and like a conscious contact with God as we understand him is it's kind of like dipping our toe in the water. And my sponsor says, she's like, if you want to renovate your house and you're like, okay, anybody got any recommendations? And so you get this referral for this like contractor person. You're not just going to be like, hey, can you renovate my house? Because you don't know this contractor and you're not sure about the contractor. And so you might actually like, call the contractor and say like, hey, could you come and like, paint my small bathroom downstairs and see how that job goes. And we can do the same thing with God. If we don't really understand God, if we're just at the beginning of this process and we're like, oh, I don't know about this God, like, yeah, maybe I look at nature and I think, whew, beautiful, where did this come from? Or maybe I felt like, yeah, there must be something else out there, some other divine purpose, some other reason for being. Or maybe I've had experiences in my life where I just felt protected or felt like I had wisdom that I didn't really know where that came from. Those are kind of like dipping my toe into the beginning of understanding God. And so maybe just ask him to like renovate your small bathroom.
And I think that what you're talking about is even taking the process of the steps to getting to actually having your heart desires changed. And so doing God's will, what you thought would be boring and stale, now you're like, it's bringing you life. And so God actually, he doesn't give you, he gives you stuff to do pertaining to others and to glorify him. I would say he gives you more stuff than you could actually do on your own power, but because of his power and because he's changed the desires of your heart, because he's changed your heart, it's actually fun to do. It's actually a mission to do.
I think that conscious contact with God, and then he's going to give us knowledge of his will, and then he's going to give us the power to carry it out. That's the key. And so when I start something and I'm like, oh, this is really hard, I have to remember, no, he's going to give me the power to carry this out.
And I think part of the power, I can look back and go, this is my resume, heavy equipment, landscaping, truck driving, elevator union. And so that is the power that I have to carry whatever I need to carry out. And then trying to stay sober, I had to totally abandon everything that I thought I could do. And then he led me into working with men with at a care home for guys that have mental illness. And the power was not actually doing the job, because the job was actually pretty simple. The power was actually leaving all of that, the things that I get all my resources from, all of that life. He gave me the power to actually get rid of that, to drop it. No turning back, no turning back. But every second week, I'm like, I'm going back to truck driving.
The easier, softer way. We often look for
easier,
shortcuts.
softer
we do
way
look for shortcuts.
Is
and
always the harder way.
It's so easy to like forget where we came from. Think this is hard, and no, maybe I don't really actually need to do all that. Maybe maybe
I'm not like those guys.
I'm not like that.
I'm not like that.
I don't need to do
I'm not
all
like
that.
John Ruby. I don't have to go to those extreme measures. All right. May you find God's will for you today. May He lead you into the mission He has for you, and may your life be missional and not just work. Amen. All right. We'll see you on the tomorrow. On the tomorrow. Hockey sticks in hands. Don't forget.
Don't forget to comment to enter our Monday drop.
Monday Fun Day. Bye.